Welcome to Tales by Tyrell, where timeless stories bloom like forgotten dreams. Today's tale is about a young princess who didn't rule with force or fear. She ruled with wisdom, patience, and a heart that listened. This is the story of the princess and the Garden of Time. In the faraway kingdom nestled between silver rivers and golden fields, there lived a young princess named Alina. She was not a warrior, not a sorceress, but her eyes held a calm knowing, like she could hear the thoughts of the wind. When her father, the king, grew old, the kingdom's future was uncertain. The land had been peaceful, but hungry neighboring kings were watching. War murmured in the shadows. An ancient law was invoked. Let the garden decide. Each heir would be given 1 year to tend a magical patch of soil known as the Garden of Time. What bloomed would reflect their spirit and determine the kingdom's future. Princess Alina was not the only heir. A visiting prince named Rowan, strong, clever, and proud, was also chosen. The kingdom would be given to the one whose garden bore the most powerful harvest. Rowan laughed. A garden is just dirt. I'll summon sun, storm, and spills. But Alina knelt before her soil and whispered to it. She asked it what it needed. Each day she studied her garden like a riddle. She noticed how some seeds only open when sung to, how certain flowers grew faster if left alone. She spoke to bees, listened to rain, cared without command. Meanwhile, Prince Rowan's garden was enormous, glowing red fruits, towering vines, blazing flowers. Power, the nobles cheered. Alina's garden was quieter, delicate glowing herbs, soft blue blossoms, trees that bent as if listening. On the final month, a violent storm struck the land. Rowan cast protective spells over his garden, but they burst and his blooms withered overnight. Alina didn't shield hers. Instead, she whispered, "Do what you must." By morning, her garden had changed. Where flowers once stood, now stood a silver tree with a single glowing fruit, the heart seed, a fruit that only grows when one chooses wisdom over control. Rowan stood before her, defeated but silent. He looked at her garden, then at her. "You didn't fight the storm," he said. "No," she replied. "I trusted what would survive." And in that moment, something in Rowan softened. Not out of shame, but admiration. Days passed. He began to return, not as a rival, but a friend. They walked the garden together. He listened, she laughed. And in time, something deeper bloomed between them. Not because they needed each other, but because they saw one another clearly. When the day of decision came, the kingdom watched. The judges looked at the wilted power of Rowan's garden and then at Alina's, still alive, still growing, still wise. The crown was hers, but when asked what she would do with her power, she smiled and said, "I will rule like a garden, not with force, but with care, not to control, but to grow." And beside her stood Rowan, no longer a prince in competition, but a partner in life and learning. Thank you for watching Tales by Tyrell. If the story of patience, purpose, and quiet love touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because sometimes the strongest things grow slowly and the wisest hearts let them.